active build. It was like armlet blink, and then from there it was whatever the game was kind of depending. What do we kind of want out of no one's Alchemist this game?
Radiance, Manta, Blink Dagger.
Okay, so you standard like carry build, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Manta's great against TA, Radiance is great against TA. That's probably like the direction he's want to go. Armlet? Yeah, no, I don't think that's good. Not in a game like this. All right, so we're probably not going to go for that one. And you're going to be the carry. You're alch mid. No, that's just kind of how you play. And if Armlet was a good item this patch, I would say, sure, go for the Armlet. But I think in this particular game, you're going to get a lot of value from this Radiance. Battle Fury was the other item that you kind of went for in the past when Battle Fury is good, but you want a farming item right now. And that'll be Radiance. So yeah, Radiance, Blink, and then he goes fight.
Okay.
And the loss going to come down to Watson. Like, he's also playing a hero that can do things on the map. And you're probably going to see Watson play a little less greedy this game. That way you don't have two cores just AFK in the jungle and get that early diffusal and run around the map and try to make things happen. And we'll have to see how the laning stage goes. Like, it's going to be a Tide and presumably with Ahri on the Marcy. So it's a double melee lane. On paper, it doesn't seem like it's going to be the strongest, especially playing against the techies, who's very powerful. And of course, you are counterpicked with the Slark into the Tide Hunter. And probably not much is going to happen for now, but this is a big wraparound play from OG with a Smoke Ink.
Let's see where they want to try and set this ward up from Seb. If it's going to be this bottom cliff, maybe further inside Radiant's jungle. Looks like will be the call. In his home, though. Watson, with that nighttime vision as well, should probably be able to have plenty of time to react, unless Seb's got a pretty interesting path through. But they do see him with the Watcher, though, nonetheless, so not going to catch him off guard.
I don't think they saw them necessarily, because he was in the trees, so they're still playing this a little bit cautious.
The battle begins.
Game of chicken now. And that's painful. Entity, even though you do that cool smoke play with OG, you wrap all the way around, and you still give away 3 runes. That's gotta hurt.
Right, it does indeed. No one's lovely enough for the Alchemist. Already got Greeble's Greed. Of course, very close to the bottle too. But like you said, let's see how he's going to be able to play up against the spam of the Meld. This Alchemist is okay starting armor. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, he's taking lots of damage, as you can see there, when the Meld does stack on the minus armor, so he's going to keep slapping with it over and over.
Such
he already
a
got 2
dumb
dies.
level 1. It's so stupid. 5 armor reduction?
You seem upset.
Well, I don't like. There are a lot of very strong level 1 abilities. I feel like look, it's your TA is not a very good hero at the moment, so it's not like I'm not going to complain anything too much. BZM, okay, it's fine. But like, there's a couple that feel like the numbers still are slightly overtuned, and I do think Meld is one of them.
What about Morphling's Attribute Shift? I think that's definitely
an interesting
overtuned.
one. I think another one's Cold Embrace. We're going to keep going. I think Inner Fire on Husker is pretty stupid. Kataomi.
Okay.
Well, I just noticed, what's going on with the lane setup from OG?
Yeah.
This is...
I also want to look at the mid matchup. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, nothing else really interests me that much. But yeah, they dodged the Slark lane. They decided to put the Wind Ranger against the Slark. You know, this is something, like, when I played competitive Dota that people did all the time. And it just kind of felt like no one does it anymore. These lane swaps are just a forgotten thing. You know, the dancing lanes, musical chair lanes. Nobody does it anymore. But this particular game, you know, old dog Seb is bringing it back.
Yep.
And that makes a lot of sense.
Lane. No, tri-lanes as well, thank God, because they're ever so boring to watch, but... Alright, you see Entity, I guess at least you have this small camp for Fishman to kind of work with, so a lot of this is going to come down to the creep equilibrium, how close is Watson going to be able to farm next to his tower. He will need a lot of regen on the Slark though to play against his spam.
Yeah, it went from having a very favorable lane to the Slark to having a not so good lane, and the trade-off is good for 2 lanes for OG, right? Like, neither of these lanes are going to struggle by making this adjustment, so it's just an overall net win here.
I guess there does have to be something said, the fact that DM should have a good lane though, right? And we were expecting it to be pretty bad against the Wind Ranger and the Venge, so we saw what he was able to do previously. Meanwhile, actually, nice pounce, not going to matter though. Uragi's got the win run, but yeah, we need to see what DM's going to be able to do, and well, with the level 3 already, 2 points in the shield crash, he's going to find a kill onto Ahri.
That was really good by Katomi. He actually interrupted the rebound with the telekinesis mid-animation, so canceling that out and then getting a bit of a freebie there. Oh, and the concern we had about the mid lane is it's very real. Like, this is not a good lane for no one.
Ooh.
And Tide's gonna go down too. Alright, yeah, this lane, sure, you got first blood on Tide, but I think they have more than made up that just by getting a couple more kills directly after there. DM making this offlane Pango look viable. I hate to say it. It's looking pretty good.
I mean, the fact he's going to have an early arcane boots is incredible with Kataomi as well. It's going to be so much value out of the spam of spells. This is... And the Pango is definitely here. I mean, you get... We know it from the mid lane. If you get a good timing out of your first, whether it's Diffuser Blade or whatever in your levels, you can make up for a bit of a weaker lane from the Slark to be able to give Watson some catch-up.
Yeah, and a little of this has to come down to as well, potentially, of how much of it is the Pango or how much is it Ahri playing a hero that's definitely not a great laner. We don't see much Marcy nowadays. It's just a specialty hero of his, and you're laning it with another melee hero, so it's a double melee lane where you're getting these constant 2-man shield crash, giving that bonus barrier HP. Every time he pops, it's like a 200 barrier.
Regardless, so yeah, this mid lane is appalling for no one, so gonna have to see how the stack game can shape up for the Alchemist. He's already made one of his own stacks. This does mean BZM is going to absolutely free farm on the Templar Assassin, so we'll see what the itemization is going to be for him. We've seen a lot of the early ag shards in some of the games, and depending if he needs to be that playmaker, we could even see a pretty early blink from him as well.
Yep, we'll have to see. Right now, he's not giving us any information on what he wants to do with this quick buy. Just the early essentials. He's got the Blightstone plus Treads available. More than likely, most TAs just go for a Dragonlance right away. And then you can decide, do I go Deso, which is the greedy build, or do I go a Blink Dagger and try to make things happen? I'm not sure what a Blink Dagger will necessarily do in a game like this, so maybe it's best to just go for the Deso and just hit hard.
A lot of minus armor then. Gosh, Mel, Deso, Wave of Terror. Ridiculous amount of physical damage they're going to be able to output so far in this game from Entity. Top lane Whisper is alone. Is he going to be okay though? 11 wand charges. A lot of stats with the brace from the gauntlet. Not even going to need to pop the wand.
And this is a really bad timing to leave this Tide alone too, because he doesn't even have money for the Morbid Mask. Maybe if he had a Morbid Mask, he can sustain a bit more with the Anchor Smash, but without it, that ain't gonna happen. So he's gonna get punished pretty hard in this laning stage, but Katomi is going to just now leave. I like the traps that are being placed by BZM here. Very aggressive, like checking out the stack situation, putting them behind the tier 1, tier 2. You don't want to waste a sentry back there just for one trap, but it's just being there. Of course, it's scouting no one, farming over there too. You can tell this, he's feeling a lot more comfortable on this Templar Assassin than he was in game number 1.
That was genius.
Might be able to get Fishman, or he's actually just going to look to try and TPR. Wasn't able to get that Wisdom Room. Well, Katomi is able to find the one for Entity. Do you want to quickly just speak about the boots from no one? Would you have... Is there a consideration for phase boots this game just because of the raw physical damage?
Hold on, no one might be in trouble
yeah,
here.
no one. pop. Not going to matter in the end. Katsumi's going to try and TP into offer some... Oh, Soaring active. Okay, I was a little bit worried for a second. Going to get the concoction off nonetheless. No one's regen. It's okay. He's going to be able to stay alive. Now, DM as well.
TP'd.
TP's in, and it's a big rotation. He's not going to be rewarded from it.
Yeah, that's 2 TPs, forcing a reaction. Of course, no one does not die, so that's always good. But they had to commit a lot to keep him safe there. Of course, DM didn't have to TP in for that, but he thought he'd be able to get a piece of the pie there, being able to kill BCM and get the big golden flux, but was not able to do so. And so he's just going to have to walk all the way back top, which means it's not a big deal for his net worth for that to happen. However, he does not have a TP anymore for 40 seconds if something else were to happen on the map.
That's something will be bottom lane though. OG starting to move both their supports down to play with Yuragi. Has that focus fire. It's definitely going to be difficult to kill Watson, especially with the ultimate ready to go. I mean, we thought was going to struggle a little bit more, but honestly, sitting pretty... Well, he's further net worth than Yuragi currently is in the win ranger, so Watson's had another pretty good start in this series.
Dota's a weird game nowadays, where all these little things that you do, from your creep block to like how you want to play the first wave, is very much tailored by how you practice, right? And Yuragi, he plays most of this game in the safe lane, right? So when you make the dynamic shift like that, sometimes it's just simple as that, where a player is capable of playing a Wind Ranger, but doesn't know all the small nuances of like how to play the laning stage as an offlaner to punish a carry, because he just doesn't play in the offlane very much.
You see him making his first rotation of the game though on Yuragi. Ward from... There was no one that actually placed it, but regardless, he was able to scout OG out. Nonetheless, they're not going to get the kill, but will be a little bit of damage into the tower. Bottom lane, Watson going to be a bit of a nuisance onto Seb's, going to force out that reaction. Dark Pact was previously used, and now might have to activate the ultimate if he's in some trouble. Entity starting to TP down, but Watson does need to pay some respect now with the Shadow Dance not available for him. Katsuomi trying to... Wait, hang on, his own focus fire. Not too bad. Kills off Seb. And now Ari with a jump in, but Yuragi's pretty hesitant. It doesn't really see the greatest opportunity to strike back, so in the end, couple TPs from Entity. They're going to be able to get their own kill.
Always funny to watch a Rubik get a kill with focus fire. But it happens right away there, and Whisper's still trying to catch up. Alchemist getting some free time by himself as will be a little dive there from BC with the haste rune taking down Fishman. But yeah, the point being, get back to Alchemist having a good game, Slark having a pretty good game as well, and Yuragi not having a good game is like... Sure, you're not the main carry because you have a TA on the team, but you still want to be in a better spot than this as a Wind Ranger. Slight concern.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yes, it is indeed. So we'll see what OG are going to be able to do. You don't have really these crazy big ultimates. Of course, the Tide, but not like the supports really do to be able to, as soon as that potential 10-minute mark hits or whenever you get them, maybe looking for a smoke play and trying to bring someone down. You have Seb trying to soak some experience mid lane. Ari still needs his 6 as well. Meanwhile, I mean, no one is just farming stack after stack. They've done an incredible job to help this Alchemist's game. It does go to show that the fact that, I mean, BCM is also absolutely doing a phenomenal job to be able to find his own farm as well.
Yeah, both these mid laners are going to be massive this game. But I think overall, if you just look at the hero composition, this does favor Entity. Like Slark Alchemist, if both these heroes do free farm, it seems a lot scarier than TA Wind Ranger. So yeah, it's going to be one of those games where there's going to be a lot of farming, and the onus is going to be on OG to apply the pressure, and they know that. So Whisper's going to come join the fray here.
If we'll see. I mean, you're about to have the Diffuser Blade completed from DM. One more wave. So,
oh, not the relic. Don't get it sniped. Alright, Alchemist is microing it away. Would have been very sad if he lost it there.
And like you said, I mean, so happy for Entity with the current start of the second game. calls off to a good side. I mean, not only that, but you're going to also have a Rubik that is going to have some items to work with. We've got Phylactery once again is actually going to be the item of choice for Kataomi. We saw in, I believe, the series we casted. I'm trying to remember who it was against now. I've forgotten. It was Navi Jr. who they versed, but we saw him go down that Phylactery route. So I'm just... BZM is going to be going for this Blink Dagger. So, well, actually, hold that thought. DM. Nice shackle from Uragi. DM still going to try and play around with the ultimate, but not to be. So the Unleash, along with Uragi's Focus Fire, that is like a much needed kill. The status of this game, NC being able to get away with the greed, and finally they shot some person down. And you see the instant beeline to mid lane. They have to convert on this tower now.
They're going to try. Yeah, it looks like they'll go ahead and get Katomi as well. I think you just leave the tower at this point. I mean, Pango's up in 5, but you're playing into 5 heroes sitting on your mid lane. This is not typical behavior for this patch, to go 5-man mid lane. Like, ever since, what was it, 7.34? Is that when they implemented the twin games? I don't remember, but ever since they implemented that patch, like, running at mid as 5 is not something you see very frequently, because taking over that doesn't matter as much, because you can just farm the outskirts of the map. Sure, you're going to shut down Alchemist going to his jungle a little bit here, but what did you really accomplish? You brought 5 heroes just to get 1 tower, and look, he's back at it. He's farming again, and this is when Alchemist will start to take off net worth department-wise.
I'm impressed with Whisper's farm, actually. Thought it was going to be a little bit less, but we see got that Ag Shard queued up, which we saw earlier today have a lot of impact in that game, and it's going to be no different in this one in particular as well. Very mobile heroes, Slark, Pango, Elk. Just question is when he wants to pick it up, and they're going to make a goal onto DM. That's a lot of damage with Ari, dude. This Marcy, I mean, this has always been the big thing about the hero, even as a support, and you do a stupid amount with that Unleash, and it's still only level 1 in the sidekick as well. He's not even maxing it at the moment, so a secondary kill onto DM's Pangolier.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Pango's taking the heat this game so his carries can farm. And luckily, he is a hero that doesn't need a lot, and you kind of see through his itemization that he's just going to go for it. We're starting to bleed a little too many kills here now for Entity. We got to be a little bit careful. I think they're running to the issue of, like, who do we play with right now? Because all our cores are farming. And that's just how it is when you have a mid-alchemist. You're just going to be farming for a bit, and go time will be soon, though, I think, for Entity. It is nighttime. You have a Blink Dagger, potentially after this wave if he doesn't die.
Is he baiting? I mean, they knew exactly where OG are. He's got the Radiance in the second point and the Chemical Rage, the sustain. It might not be enough with BZM coming through with a double damage rune. Team as well wants to crash in. They'll catch up to Seb. It's both OG supports that go down. Watson as well is going to be cautious with the AoE damage. It's not enough to go through the Shadow Dance. But once it expires, he'll deal with the anchor. It's not going to matter though. Uragi locks onto the carry. I mean, you buy back out a Seb, but in the end, OG find a 3 for 3. Importantly, they get some big core kills as well.
Yeah, that anchor is the difference maker killing Watson or not, because like he can't escape even after the Shadow Dance. Just picking up that shard at 15 minutes exactly there, it's going to make things very interesting for Watson, because you want to hit enemy heroes, right? You want to keep building the essence shift. So every hit that you do that is not on a hero feels really bad on Slark. So this anchor is going to prove to be very problematic yet again here, as we do have a blink available, and Seb, well, that's a dieback, so that should secure the mid tower here if they do want to go that route.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
They're still hunting as well. Time to
just
work with.
Securing the area, I think.
Radiant are scanning.
Very secured.
Watson thought they had vision there because of the Shadow Dance region went off, but really it was just a trap he walked over.
Kind of one of the little frustrating things about this matchup, right?
Yeah, for sure. You never know. It's definitely a matchup where you need a gem at some point, because the sentries just aren't going to cut it. Well, you can definitely do some detective work and figure it out, but like, you don't want to spend all your time and resources just dewarding as a Slark. You want to still be farming and not like figuring out which is a ward and which is a trap. but it definitely adds that extra dynamic that's a little bit annoying.
So Uragi off farming at the moment as well. Double 12 here for the Wind Ranger. It's going to be the 4-star Hurricane Pike that is currently being worked on. Got one of the better tier 2 neutral items, especially as well for a Universal Hero 2 with a Specialist Array. So let's see what the call is going to be for OG. It's going to be in go, go, go so far from them. We've got all 5 once again. Maybe the name's just going to be try and control this triangle area, limit some of the farm that NTD can split across their 3 cores.
I mean, this definitely is not a situation where if you farm on Entity, it's a GG situation. I was definitely expecting them to hit a power spike and be able to fight this first nighttime, but that's kind of been staved off. No one's not been able to find the best fights for himself. Slark also has not been able to use this nighttime super efficiently, so I guess the next timing is probably going to be around 25 minutes here for Entity, which is going to give a nice 5-minute window here for, I think, OG to be in charge of the jungle. Look at all the wards that we have inside of the Radiance jungle here from the Dire. So BZM is going to continuously just catapult his net worth here. But the thing about TA, you do hit like a wall of how farm you can get, and you hit it pretty quickly as well with all the little items you do build. So gonna have to see some impact, some more impact from BZM in the next 5 minutes here. Maybe the shards items he's waiting for.
See if this might give you an opportunity for the supports to go back over to the triangle and D-ward now for Radiant. We did see OG leave this area. It'll be important for them to re-control it. They've already got a couple sentries set up, so should be able to get that D-ward. Instantly you see OG start to veer their attention over. They do not want to give the vision up for free. Katomi's going to feel a little bit vulnerable, so he's not going to look for the D-ward himself, but I mean, you've got DM farming deep in the northern side of this map. Watson shoving out bottom. You do have daytime coming up in the next 30 seconds, so Slark is going to feel, he will definitely be capable to fight, but he's not going to be at his strength. Really wondering when OG going to be looking towards Roshan as well, of course, naturally with all the minus armor they have.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire structures are fortified.
Yeah, it's definitely a concern for sure. And I'm looking at Watson's item progression too. Alright, 20-minute Tormentor, they're just going to take it. Enemy Tormentor is taken. Map control is good. If they want, they can go back and take their Tormentor. Unfortunately, TA can't solo it anymore, but just bring a couple heroes and you have more than enough damage to deal with. And you see Seb, they're already TPing. I think the call here is to maybe go for a kill bot lane. If not, they're just going to smoke. Okay, Roshan is the call here.
It's a really good trap currently set up on top of Watson. I think they got a glimpse of Kataomi as well. Their TP's at the radium, and they're going to have to come down to the outpost. Long TP location. Seb's got a beautiful position. Wrap around. They're going to see the Slark Courier. Oh, he's trying to TP out. They've a cancel though. What's the swap from Seb? Last second at the buzzer. Shadow Dance just too lazy, inevitable. They'll get the Slark. Fishman will TP out. Nicely done from Seb though, and this is going to be Roche for free.
Yeah, this is definitely a game where OG are making all the right moves on the map here. The train really isn't stopping, and yeah, you've bought Alchemist a lot of time, and he's still farming, so when is that going to change? I'm not entirely sure here, as no one, he has his BKB, he's on his way to AC, he's getting really big in this game, but he has yet to find a way to just use his net worth or anything beneficial for the team.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
If you're waiting 5 minutes before, well, you're waiting another 5 minutes now for this Aegis to expire. So definitely still looking at some type of mid-nighttime timing here for that third nighttime here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You are still getting items, so nonetheless, but yeah, like you said, this is still going to be a great opportunity for OG to get the remaining outer towers. It looks like a kill onto Kataomi as well. We'll make this work for it. But the Desert of the Water is going to be there, so... And we're going to need to be looking towards some of the defensive items now for Entity. Of course, this Assault Cuirass for no one, very common. Cool talent tree choice with the Acid Spray granting armor. So Just a little bit of reduction. They didn't get too lucky with the Gossamer Cape, so no one was the only one that found it versus the Templar Assassin.
That was genius.
Yeah, only one that found it or chose to go for it. Yeah, I guess techies never would go for a fan brace over Gossamer Cape. Same with the Pupil's Gift. So, little unlucky there, but it's still not the end of the world, potentially. These are still some items that will help you make it a little bit tankier. So, Watson to me is going to be what I'm looking at, itemization-wise. Like, what is he going to go for next?
Okay.
He's just going to TP out. Because I personally don't understand the choice of the Mage Slayer right now, as techies will go down. Because he has a Mage Slayer against Avenge, a Marcy, a TA, Wind Ranger, and Tide. It feels like none of these heroes really do that much spell damage anyway.
Tide, he is no man's land. You're going to lose the Rubik on the opposite side of the map. Is Whisper not going to die? Are you serious? Seb doesn't have the swap, but it's not going to matter. Okay, and a Whisper, he jumps in. Ravage there. Ari is well over the top. The stun control. It's not enough. Watson's going to try and TP under the cover of the Shadow Dance, and he will make it.
Okay. That was very ambitious by them, but I don't even think they need the Ravage to fight at the moment. Yeah, you're kind of seeing how tanky this Tide Hunter is, and he doesn't even have that many items. He just has a Blink, he has the Flads, and one little cloak, but still feeling like he's invincible at the moment.
Ari. Runs into no one, just standing over.
Oh, the AC nice just died.
Snipe. Okay.
Yeah. Guess we're waiting longer, boys. Let's go already. The waiting game continues.
Alright, 6,000 net worth lead, and this is an Alchemist lineup as well from Entity.
I'm just so surprised how Entity have not been able for 24 minutes here to mount a single aggressive move. OG's just been playing this super well on the map.
Man. Okay, there we go. Anchor to be able to hands with the TP. Him and Watson both going to be okay. I mean, you just see how oppressive this is, though. Smoke to bottom, back to top, all the traps, all the wards. You definitely are going to have to be looking at a gem pretty early from Entity. And speaking about the gem, Ari, he's got one coming out in the quarry for himself, so really looking to continue to limit the map. Force Entity deep inside the base.
Alright, it's nighttime now, but unfortunately, there is going to be Nagus online for 1 more minute. That'll coincide with pretty much the courier respawning for no one to get that AC online. And then I really think you need to go and do something as a team. Because if this continues down the path it's going right now, inevitably people are going to die again. And when people die, you're going to lose map control. The network's going to grow, and then the game is going to just be impossible. So there has to be a point where they feel like they can do something. They have a Pango with an Aghanims. They're ready to go, honestly. They just need to wait for the Sagas to expire, and they need to finish the AC.
No, Fishman.
2 hits.
3 hits.
Was it 3? I don't know.
Yeah, 3.
Okay.
It's alright. 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
We're gonna hold it. Yeah, I mean, it's good enough. Good enough to be 2. Stolt dead in the water. I wonder how that's going to be used for Katsuomi. This doesn't have the greatest cast range.
He's Rubik.
True.
He gets extra cast range on that bad boy. Normally melee range, but with Rubik, he can throw it from a decent distance. And it's something that's really good against the Tide himself, actually, because your Kraken Shell won't dispel it. So you have to find a way to just right-click it down. Obviously great for TA as well, because when you're unleashed, you can't use your Blink Dagger. And TA relies a lot on mobility of Blink Dagger. Watson now has his Aghanim Scepter. It is nighttime. There is no Aegis. You have your Assault Cross. Go, go, go.
Go, go, go! Do just that.
Here we go.
No wards though for Entity to play with. Smoke's gonna pop onto Whisper. Pretty good reaction out of the blink. That's double pounce from Watson, which completely off the mark. No one will be able to land the concoction. The defensive swap's going to help reposition Ari out to the right side. This is messy from Entity. BKB wasted. Rolling Thunder about to be wasted as well. And you're probably calling the retreat. Meanwhile, Watson's getting kited. No ultimate. He's just dead. OG dancing perfectly like we saw earlier in the day. And now with the Pangolier silenced up, Seb's going to be able to hold him down into place. DM's gone as well. Really nicely done from OG. The kiting was perfect from them. You keep everyone alive, and now you got some lanes to be able to push out and get some objective damage.
Radiant's top barracks are
Unfortunately, they had no chemical rage for that fight, and of course, they had no clear initiation too. Like, you're using all your initiation, and finally, when you do find a hero, the swap is there. You use Rolling Thunder, doesn't really connect on much either, so... And you said it best, OG danced around that team fight really well, and unfortunately, that may have been, like, their one chance this game to, like, have a real shot of a team fight. It's pretty much going to be all uphill from here, if it hasn't already been uphill.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I just flew to BZM. Alchemist?
No BKB.
No BKB for 10 seconds. Should be able
Ari
to get the
does not
blue
have
away.
the shard.
Okay.
Ari might want to consider getting a shard of his own. That way he can, like, catch heroes on the map, allowing you to use the rebound on the enemy heroes. But it looks like he just wants to finish off a BKB, more worried about being just another right-click presence. And he is indeed in this game. And how is Seb more farmed?
I don't know.
Than Ari? What's even happening?
I guess
Seb
Seb
has
has shard.
I mean, he has Ag Shard, of course, Boots of Bearing, Force Staff. In his own regards, he's very fun.
Oh, dude, Whisper's just gonna face check them. Yeah. Good luck. It's not happening, especially with Seb potentially playing behind him. And Tian even going to give that opportunity, maybe overcommitting into a multi-man Ravage. They're still going to try and set up on the river. Nice time for another 40 seconds, though. It's kind of now or never.
I'll take that.
Yeah, Watson's kind of drawing the line like, hey, they're over here. They're going to go either this way or that way. And I don't think they can go up any high grounds at this point of the game, being 12,000 gold down. So they've only got another 10 seconds on the nighttime, and you can see all the vision that Watson was getting to them. He even is holding the Vampire Fangs for that additional 300 night vision. He sees everything at night, but now he's just a normal hero. He doesn't see anything special.
Just a basic old dude.
The basic dude. All that advantage of the Slark out the window here, as you know that if you're OG, you're going to go. You're going to smoke it up, knowing that you take every advantage you can get in a game like this.
Got a glimpse of no one on the traps. It's been the placement so far from BZM has been exceptional. We'll be able to still get the ultimate off along with the BKB, but no one is falling goddamn fast. BZM with the MKB, another shackle from Yuragi. Latches onto the creeps. Yeah, I mean, this has been the OG that we've come to love so far. With the recent addition of all these players, they're going to try and buy. That's a triple buyback, dude. And you just get Seb. You need to get more. It's a great stun from no one. You are lacking a little bit of mana for the Ravage on Whisper. It's going to be up in a couple of seconds. Never mind. Another swash. Burns it out. It's not going to matter. The call is just an all-out retreat. Multiple buybacks. And again, just losing Seb. You are so happy with that.
Especially if you can defend Roche. I think the only way you can justify this for Entity is if they can blitz rush into the Roche pit, get an Aegis in hand here. Do you have the ability to smoke right now? If you are on the side, let's see, what's this core you're bringing out? No, there's no smoke, but this could be the window. There's no Seb here. You've got Roche control. You got to do something real fast if you're Entity. You can't give up this Aegis. You just can't do it. But they know they're not doing it because Yuragi is just power shotting it. They see.
A BKB for no one for another 10 seconds. Seb's alive and going to come through the portal. Argue with the Scepter's going to run in their middle. They got recognition of where the Wind Range is currently positioned thanks to the Sentry. They're going to try and blow her up, but they got the follow-up. Whisper, great counter initiation with the Ravage, and now Seb as well with the defensive swap. They're going to keep Uragi alive, and now BZM has got a free fight on the Templar Assassin's going to stand toe-to-toe up against no one who just doesn't have what it takes to be able to deal with the OG cause. And now Watson will try and get the kill into the Wind Range. Has got the Shadow Dance to work with as well. Can it be able to battle up against BZM though with the MKB Meld Strike? It should be able to chase him down. Kataomi's going to make him work for it. I hope the slow will actually get some separation. Watson resets. Kataomi also
not bad
out. So in the end, yeah, honest, really not a bad fight.
Yeah, Watson's starting to gain a little bit of momentum here with the Slark getting stacks up, getting some kills. Ends up killing the Tide in that fight after killing the Finge, and then you find Uragi. It was a little close towards the end there, but I got that last couple stacks, burned out the mana of the TA. Now, I don't know if you can go Roche like this. Yeah, you have to get rid of that trap for sure. He realizes there's a trap in the pit. They can't go do that right now. And plus, I don't think Slark has enough stacks to just do Roche right now. But maybe with Pango and having the lucky shot, this could be a potential. But I think more than anything, you just want to take another one of those fights. Unfortunately for the Alchemist, that was a dieback, so he is dead for quite some time. So his net worth will suffer. Is he even close to another item that's going to help him this game? Yeah, the Manta.
Love the fight right now. Watson's still got a little bit of essence to work with. It'll be quick.
You have no Alchemist.
Oh, jump in, Watson. Onto Ari, but the reposition's going to be there. Whisper as well. Ravage down for 50 seconds. Deem around the choke point. This Rolling Thunder. It's not going to be enough to enable Watson to be able to right-click. And now what is the call from Entity? No one's back alive.
Pango's stuck.
Hang on. DM. Uh-oh.
What? Where do you even get stuck at? What is that part of the map?
Nice Gale Force.
No one's
able to use it though. And you just kite it now. That's Chemical Rage used. Rolling Thunder used as well. OG. Ravage on cooldown for 20 seconds. They're okay. They'll back on off.
They're
just chill this one out.
Too to creeps.
Okay. Like how they run in tower range.
Oh. I mean, if they just keep this up, this mid barracks will die eventually. So, a battle of patience here.
Ravage is up. Ari with the jump in onto the supports. Does get blown up to start the fight. And Watson found the Shadow Dance before the Ravage was used as well. An early BKB from no one. And they got the detection as well. It's a pretty good jump in from Fishman. Stun connecting onto 3. Oh, what a shackle. Uragi finds 2. Meanwhile, is going to continue to chase down no one. That's 3 members gone. And
oh
with
no,
he
dropped
advantage. The missile chased Watson inside the pit. A great fight from OG. And really, that was all just set up thanks to the kiting of that initial skirmish. You waste the Chemical Rage. You wait for the Ravage to be back up. You waste the Rolling Thunder as well. Just once again, the patience and the shot calling is perfect from them.
Yeah, definitely, OG they're back from that little hiccup of what we'll call game number 1 there. I kind of called it a one-off game for BCN, right? And he's kind of really proving it in this game where he's been the superstar of this game number 2 here. Shutting down this Alchemist, having really good trap placements so they can get aggressive here. And of course, overall, just the movements that's been on the map from OG has been on point. And their team fighting. And the banner almost forgotten yet again. Might as well just throw that in the bot lane because you already got Megas in the other creep camps. And I don't think it upgrades Megas, if I'm not mistaken.
Buyback at least, but gonna force it out with this last push. All the lanes are getting shoved in. OG. One more fight is all they need to send us to a game 3.
And that fight without a Pango, I mean, Pango will have to do the buyback, but at this point in the game, you're gonna have, I think, a very crazy depth drought on multiple heroes.
Seb? Okay, 4-star's gonna protect him the once. Can now use a swap aggressively, in fact, onto Whisper. They also get the buyback out of DM. Ari is a bit disconnected from the team. He's gonna have Uragi to play with him momentarily. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, we do have Fishman go down as well, so we're 4v5 for the next 35 seconds.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Onto the high ground we go here. Techies is dead. Alchemist will go in, but no chemical rage.
Alright, BZM falling pretty goddamn low here, but of course here's the Aegis carrier. Watson trying to find an angle to enter the fight, but now he's anchored up on top of the backline. The Shackle before the Pact. Nice spell casting from OG. Now they're going to be able to swap no one back into the middle. Swap gets stolen, but Kataomi unable to use it defensively. That's no buyback available for no one. Now Whispers in with a big ultimate as well. What can Watson do inside the middle of the team fight? The Slark needs to go huge for Entity to hold this base out. Mega Creeps soon to be on the agenda. They were looking for the heroes instead. They're going to jump into a couple of mines. A lot of AoE damage. One barracks left standing. Not going to matter. They'll assassinate DM. Down goes Fishman as well. This should be all she wrote.
Yeah, most definitely. You don't have what it takes right now to stay in this game for much longer, as this TA is just out of control. Wind Ranger has a good amount of farm. And of course, even Ari. Like, this guy has tons of farm. He's like a right-click threat right now for the side of OG. And that's going to be it. We're going to call the game. And this idea of what they wanted to do from Entity, I like how they're experimenting a lot here. Like, they're putting the Pango in the offlane. It worked in one game, so it definitely has potential.